Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian, and in today's video, I'm continuing my look at the Alfred Hitchcock films. This is in a second box set. Well, it's a box set of 3. And this is Dial M for Murder, 1954. It's a crime thriller. It's 105 minutes long. Rotten Tomatoes give it 90%. It's very well received. Though some critics, are a bit, they're not saying it's one of his masterpieces. There's that sort of debate about this film. But it's well thought of. He's got such a high standard. It's one of those sort of situations. Now, the important thing about this is it's based on a play, a 1952 play called Dial M for Murder by Frederick Knott. And he does the screenplay here. So we've got an adaptation of his own play onto the screen. And it works well. Hitchcock, as usual, does a great job in this. You don't feel confined. It doesn't feel too theatrical. There's obviously no locations or anything on this. But it does look great. Absolutely wonderful. And it's on a budget of $1.4 million, and it made in the box office $6 million. Now, originally, it was planned as a 3D film. Early results at the box office, the audience did not like 3D. It was in its sort of what they consider the more, latter stages of it. It was seen more gimmicky. The audiences didn't want it. It was then shown all over as a 2D film, and everybody loved it. They flocked into the box office. So that's interesting. It's really at the end of the 3D craze, really, I think, to some extent. And Hitchcock never did anymore. I don't think he was even that keen on doing it like this. But anyhow, that's another story. Now, the music is by Dmitry Taramokin. I think that's how you pronounce it. He was really well known for doing westerns, things like High Noon and Giant, all those kind of films of that era. Very much involved in those kind of scores. Now, Hitchcock's appearance in this film is 13 minutes, but now this is interesting. It is on a photograph. Yes, it's a college reunion photograph, and there's no filmed picture. It's on a photograph that we're seeing. So just thought I'd throw that bit in. Yes. Now, let's get into the cast. Ray Milland is starring as Tony Wendis. And what a career. What a career. Going back 1929, he goes right back. He was, of course, famous in the Lost Weekend of 1945, which was a Billy Wilder film. Very well thought of, really extremely well thought of that film is. He was also in The Girl in the Red Velvet Swing from 1955, which had the wonderful Joan Collins in, yes, and a name that is often associated as well with Hitchcock, in particular, is Farley Granger. Yes, he was in that, certainly. Ray Milland also did all sorts of things. Sci-fi in Panic in the Year Zero, 1962. Then he did X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes from 1963. Wow. He was in that. Love Story, 1970. And in a wonderful, it has to be a cult classic because of the title, Frogs, 1972. And then, yes, The Things with Two Heads, 1972. I love these titles. You gotta love them, man. Yeah. He was also in Disney Escape to Witch Mountain, 1975, and he was also in The Uncanny from 1977, which was a horror anthology film. Excellent, that one. Excellent. Yeah, and then it was lots of TV appearances. He just had a massive career. He really did. Then we've got Grace Kelly. Now she plays his wife, Margaret Mary Wendis. She, of course, came with her debut sort of film that pushed her into the limelight, which was Mogambo from 1953. It was directed by John Ford, legendary director, and starred Clark Gable. But of course, we've seen her in Rear Window, 1954. Again, what a film that is! That is an amazing film. And she also in this year appeared in The Country Girl, 1954, which elevated her to Oscar-winning performance. Yes, she won an Oscar as Best Actress. She was also in another Hitchcock film, To Catch a Thief, 1955, and her last film she did was High Society, 1956, which was a big hit with Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. And then she became the fairy tale princess, and she gave up acting, and she got married, and that's it, the princess. Then we've got Robert Cummings, who plays Mark Holliday. He was in The Devil and Miss Jones from 1941, which is quite an interesting film. He was in Saboteur, Hitchcock film from 1942. And then really it's all, the roles are a lot in TV series and TV films. A big career there. Then we've got John Williams playing the Chief Inspector Hubbard. Now he was in Sabrina, 1954, which was a Billy Wilder film. He was also in To Catch a Thief, 1955, and again with the amount of TV series was incredible, and TV films. He did a lot of the Hitchcock TV series as well. Hitchcock really liked him. We know that definitely. Then we've got Anthony Dawson, who plays Charles Arranger. Arranger? I think that's it. He was in The Wooden Horse from 1950. He was... I think I should just mention that he plays two characters' names in this, because he's also his name is Swan, as Captain Lesgert as well, amongst many other names. I thought I'd just put that in just because he gets called this and that in this, but we don't know I wouldn't know what his real name is in this. Anyhow, I said The Wooden Horse as the actor Anthony Dawson. He was in Tiger Bay from 1959, which is a British film set in Wales. Tiger Bay, 1959. That one. Then he was in The Curse of the Werewolf, 1961, Hammer film starring Oliver Reed. Brilliant film, absolutely love it. And then in later years, in 1988, he was in Ghoulies 2. Wow. Yes, lots of, again, TV kind of things and roles like that. Yes, I love it. These films that they don't have to go. Anyhow, what is this about? What's this play turned into a film? about? Well, Tony, he plans to murder his wife. She's a rich woman, and he's found out she's having an affair. Yes, and he worries that she will leave him, have a divorce, and he won't have all the money. It's all about money, and everything about money, Bayek it is. So he devises this plan to get rid of her by blackmailing an old college associate and blackmailing him to kill her and paying him some money as well, paying him £1,000, which nowadays might not seem much, but then was probably quite a hell of a lot of money, £1,000. Yes, so there we are. But yeah, that's his plan. And of course, things don't quite work out like that, as often in these things. And the play then progresses into showing you what is exactly going on, particularly when the inspector appears in the film. Once the inspector comes, he really changes things. That's why you can see the kind of play origins in the film, the way things are staged in that sense. But he's very good. In fact, I would say the inspector, who is played by John Williams, really is excellent in this. I think he actually beats Ray Milland, actually, definitely. He steals it. He really does. As well as, I think Grace Kelly is excellent as well, because the camera seems to love Grace Kelly, and Hitchcock certainly did. And I think that's shown the quality of her performances. And so the film comes to an inevitable conclusion, I think, as you get in a play. Everything's nicely rounded up in a way, and we get it all, and it's good. I do sound slightly hesitant. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it as much for the performances as anything. I'm not going to say it's the greatest of the Hitchcock films, or one that I would say I really liked a lot. I enjoyed it, and I would watch it again, but I wouldn't put it as one of my favourites, definitely. But it is good, it's clever, and I can't fault the acting, really. Especially, as I say, John Williams' performance as the inspector, and of course, Grace Kelly being there, you're always going to get a good performance, and you can't help but just watch her and marvel at her, really. It has had quite a life, this, because there's been TV adaptations or films based on the theme worldwide as well. They've used this story and adapted it in various cultures. So it's had a big worldwide thing again, which is interesting. It is in terms of a cultural phenomena from Hitchcock. He's developed this play in that sense with this film. Because it's Hitchcock, people take notice and watch his films, and quite rightly so. So, in that sense, yes, it works well. Hitchcock does a good job. As you heard, but it's not spectacular Hitchcock, definitely not, because it can't be, because of the way the script and everything is. But he does a lot to it, and I really enjoyed it, absolutely enjoyed it. But as I said, it's probably not, I don't think, my favourite of his. I think, if I was to pick, certain ones out, this is probably not the one that I would pick out. But there we are. Yes, I know, it's terrible. But I would pick Rear Window out, definitely above this. Yes, definitely. You're bound to, aren't you? Yeah. Anyhow, before I go, there it is. Brilliant documentary on here on this Blu-ray. Absolutely brilliant documentary. He goes into it a lot. And as I say, it comes from this box set. It's a nice box set. All the 3 films in there. Yeah. That's it. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Then we'll let you know when I put out these videos. You can always look in the playlists, and there's a Hitchcock playlist, so you can see all the reviews I've done of Hitchcock films, but I've done all sorts of things. Have a look at them. If you like this particular video, please give it a like. It gets it onto YouTube and all algorithms and all that kind of thing, so hopefully more people might like it, or perhaps they won't. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I really love to read your comments. Fantastic. And it all costs note. You can't say fairer than that, can they? Buy it, you can't. So that's it. I'm going. All I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.